Beneath the dense jungles of Central America, hidden under roots, stone and earth, lies a world few have seen. A world that has been buried for thousands of years, yet whispers its secrets through the cracks of collapsing temples and the silent mouths of underground caves. Imagine walking through the humid forests of the Yucatán Peninsula. The sound of howler monkeys echoes in the canopy. Parrots flash their wings above, and then, without warning, the ground beneath you gives way. You fall, not into darkness, but into history. A hollow world, carved by water, stone, and human hands, reveals itself like a lost chapter from Earth's forgotten book. The Maya did not simply build upward, raising their pyramids toward the heavens. They also built downward into the belly of the earth. Tunnels, caves, chambers, rivers, and entire underground cities. But why? Were they hiding? Were they worshipping? Or were they guarding something that modern eyes were never meant to see? To understand, we must first step back into the time of the classic Maya civilization, a people who flourished for centuries, who mapped the stars with astonishing precision, who built massive stone cities aligned perfectly to celestial bodies. They were astronomers, engineers, mathematicians, and warriors. Yet for all their genius, much of their knowledge vanished into silence when their great cities fell into ruin. Temples overtaken by trees, plazas swallowed by jungle, glyphs eroded by rain. But beneath these ruins, there was another layer, another architecture hidden from time. And it is this underground world that holds the deepest mysteries of the Maya. The Maya believed caves were portals to the underworld. They called it Xibalba, the place of fear, a realm of gods, spirits, and trials. To them, caves were not just geological formations. They were sacred entrances, cosmic doorways where humans could commune with the divine. When archaeologists first began to explore the limestone caves of Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico, they found evidence that was impossible to ignore. Burnt offerings, human remains, ceremonial objects, pottery shattered in ritual fashion, skulls carefully placed in alcoves. It was as if these chambers were theaters of ancient rites. But as scientists descended deeper, through narrow crevices and submerged passages, they uncovered something else, evidence of constructed tunnels and chambers. Some natural, some clearly engineered by human hands. One of the most astonishing discoveries came from beneath the mighty pyramid of El Castillo at Chichén Itzá. Using advanced scanning technology, researchers detected a hidden chamber deep below the pyramid. And beneath that chamber, an underground river, a cenote, a sacred pool of water the Maya considered the veins of the earth. Suddenly, the pyramid was not just a monument above ground, it was a marker of what lay below, a map pointing to the underworld. Why build a pyramid directly above a cenote unless it was meant to connect the heavens, the earth, and the underworld in one sacred axis? This was no coincidence. This was a design that echoed their cosmology, a belief system that saw the world as three layers woven together. But not all underground passages were purely spiritual. In some sites, the tunnels appear as escape routes, channels of defense, or even hidden walkways for the elite. The Maya, like all great civilizations, faced conflict, rebellion, and siege. To survive, they may have created subterranean pathways invisible to outsiders, lifelines in times of war. Yet the lines blur, the sacred and the practical intertwine. A tunnel that served as an escape route may also have doubled as a ceremonial path. A cave used for ritual may also have been a water source. Nothing in the Maya world was singular. Everything was layered with meaning. Deep in Belize, explorers uncovered the Actun Tunikil Muknal cave, known as the Cave of the Crystal Sepulchre. Inside, the remains of more than a dozen individuals were found, victims of sacrifice. Among them, the famous Crystal Maiden, a young woman whose bones have, over time, crystallized into a shimmering relic. She lies there still, her form both haunting and mesmerizing, a silent witness to ceremonies that ended in death. But here's the unsettling question: why go so deep into the earth to perform these acts? Why not on the surface, before the crowds, upon the temple platforms? Was it secrecy? Was it fear? Or did the Maya believe that only within the veins of the earth could their offerings truly reach the gods? The deeper explorers go, the stranger it becomes. Entire chambers filled with offerings untouched for over 1,000 years. Paths leading into narrow squeezes where one must crawl on belly and elbow, only to emerge into caverns the size of cathedrals. Underground lakes that shimmer like mirrors, reflecting the faint glow of headlamps in eerie silence. In some passages, walls bear ancient markings, faint glyphs barely visible in the flickering light. It feels less like archaeology and more like a descent into another reality, where every stone breathes history and every shadow whispers of ancient rites. And yet, these discoveries are not just confined to caves. Beneath the ruins of Tikal, one of the most powerful Maya cities, researchers found a network of tunnels running for kilometers. Some connect major temples, others lead out into the jungle. They are too deliberate, too precise to be random. Could they have been secret walkways for priests, or perhaps even symbolic journeys imitating the path into Xibalba? Were they practical routes for transporting goods, or spiritual veins linking the city with the underworld? The answers remain buried in stone. But here's the twist. Modern technology is now revealing what human eyes could not. LiDAR scanning, a method of mapping using laser pulses, has exposed not just ruins above ground, but entire subterranean landscapes. Rivers coursing beneath pyramids, hidden cenotes below plazas, entire cave systems beneath ceremonial sites. Suddenly, the Maya world is no longer a series of isolated cities, but a living web, both above and below, interconnected through water, stone, and sky. The earth itself was their temple, and they were its architects. But with every discovery comes a new question. Why did the Maya, a people so deeply tied to the sky, invest so much energy into the world below? Was it only religion? Or was there something else? Something hidden deep underground that they were protecting, perhaps even fearing? As the jungle reclaims the ruins, as time erases glyphs, as bones turn to crystal, the tunnels still remain. Silent, dark, waiting. And the further archaeologists descend, the more they realize that what lies beneath may change everything we thought we knew about the Maya. Because in the shadows of these caves, something lingers. Something that suggests the Maya were not just mapping the stars above, but something far stranger below. A network so vast, so deliberate, that it may not simply have been ritual. It may have been survival. And this is where the story deepens, because the tunnels are not empty. They are filled with signs, objects, and patterns that suggest a lost knowledge. A knowledge we are only beginning to understand. The tunnels stretch endlessly, veins of a civilization carved into stone. When explorers crawl into these spaces, the air feels heavier, almost electric, as if the earth itself remembers what took place there. Some describe a silence so complete it feels alive, broken only by the sound of dripping water echoing through the darkness. And in that silence, you realize the Maya were not just wandering into caves by chance. They were designing a world beneath the world. Evidence of engineering is unmistakable. Stone steps leading into caverns, walls cut with precision, roofs supported by carefully placed columns. These were not random wanderings of a people lost in superstition. They were deliberate, purposeful constructions. But to what end? The Maya saw time differently than we do. They believed in cycles, in ages of destruction and renewal. Their calendars stretched far beyond simple days and years, mapping cosmic patterns that spanned centuries. To them, the underworld was not just a place of death, but also rebirth. Perhaps these tunnels and chambers were not meant only for sacrifice, but for preservation. Preservation of rituals, of power, even of knowledge itself. One of the most mysterious finds lies beneath the Temple of the Inscriptions in Palenque. In 1952, archaeologist Alberto Ruiz-Luillier uncovered a hidden stairway sealed for over 1,000 years. Descending into the darkness, he discovered the tomb of Pakal the Great, one of the most powerful Maya rulers. The sarcophagus was unlike anything ever seen. Carved with intricate imagery, it depicted Pakal not simply as a king, but as a traveler between worlds. His body adorned in jade, his tomb aligned with cosmic cycles. But what few realize is that his resting place lay deep underground, in a hidden chamber accessible only through a concealed tunnel. Was this secrecy meant to protect his body? Or was it symbolic, ensuring that his journey to the underworld was literal, that he physically descended into the earth as his spirit ascended into eternity? This blending of stone and spirit continues across the Maya world. In Copan, beneath the layers of temples, archaeologists have uncovered earlier structures buried intentionally. The Maya did not demolish their sacred buildings. They entombed them, encasing them within new layers of stone, like a serpent shedding its skin. Each new temple rising above the old, each layer preserving the past while pointing toward the future. It is as if the Maya were not only building for themselves, but also for the unseen generations who would come after. The underground chambers, then, are not just tombs or caves. They are libraries of stone, repositories of memory encoded in architecture. But the discoveries become even more unsettling when water enters the story. Across the Yucatán Peninsula, hundreds of cenotes, natural sinkholes formed in limestone, dot the landscape. To the Maya, these were sacred wells, entrances to Xibalba. When divers began exploring these submerged caverns, they found offerings at the bottom: pottery, gold, jade, even human remains. The sacred cenote of Chichén Itzá became infamous for the sacrifices thrown into its depths, gifts to the gods to bring rain or stave off disaster. Yet, these cenotes are not isolated. They are connected by underground rivers, vast networks flowing unseen beneath the jungle. Some scientists now believe the entire Maya world was built atop a subterranean system of water veins. Cities and temples positioned deliberately above them, as if aligning human life with the lifeblood of the earth. The question becomes unavoidable. Did the Maya know more about these underground networks than we have given them credit for? Recent exploration using divers and LiDAR has revealed connections between cenotes once thought separate. A system spanning hundreds of kilometers, threading the land together beneath the surface. For the Maya, water was life. To build above these veins was to build upon the sacred, to root civilization in the arteries of the earth itself. But if they mapped these hidden waters, then the tunnels may not only have been spiritual, they may have been practical lifelines, securing access to water, linking cities in ways we are only beginning to understand. Yet, there are stranger whispers. Legends of tunnels so vast they connect entire regions. Stories of travelers who entered one cave and emerged days later, hundreds of miles away. While modern archaeology hesitates at such claims, the discovery of massive connected cave systems suggests that these legends may not be pure imagination. Did the Maya discover routes through the earth that allowed movement and communication beyond what we thought possible? And if so, did they guard these secrets fiercely, hiding entrances, sealing passages, ensuring only the chosen few could use them? As the modern world uncovers these tunnels, it is not just stones and bones that are revealed. Strange acoustics emerge. In some chambers, a single spoken word reverberates like thunder, amplified by the curves of the rock. In others, dripping water creates natural rhythms, echoing like drums in the dark. Imagine priests performing rituals in such a space, firelight dancing on wet stone, chants magnified into unearthly echoes. The underworld was alive, resonating with sound and shadow. At Chichén Itzá, ground-penetrating radar revealed hidden chambers that have yet to be opened, their secrets still sealed in darkness. At Calakmul, explorers stumbled upon underground passages leading to hidden vaults containing murals and objects untouched since the fall of the city, each discovery adding to the growing realization the story of the Maya cannot be told only above ground. What makes the mystery more pressing is what the Maya may have been hiding from. Evidence suggests their world was not only spiritual but also turbulent. Periods of drought, famine, warfare. Perhaps the tunnels were not just sacred but shelters, a place to store food, to hide treasures, to survive catastrophe. If the cycles of time were real to them, if they believed destruction was inevitable, then preparing underground may have been as much about survival as about worship. And then comes the greatest question of all. What knowledge did they take with them into the earth? What is still hidden in chambers sealed by stone and time? For every cave explored, there are dozens still untouched. For every tunnel mapped, countless remain unseen. The jungle covers, the earth conceals, but the past waits. And as we dig deeper, as technology pierces the soil and stone, we edge closer to answers that may shake the foundation of history itself. The tunnels grow darker the deeper we descend, and with them the questions grow heavier. Who carved these passages? Why do so many lead to chambers filled not with wealth but with silence? And why, in so many cases, were entrances sealed, walls blocked, corridors collapsed by human hands? It is as if the Maya wanted no one to follow, no one to disturb what lay beneath. But what could be so important, so dangerous, that entire sections of their underground world were deliberately hidden away? Archaeologists today find evidence of intentional closure. Caves filled with rubble, passages bricked up, entrances disguised with stonework to blend into the natural walls. This was no accident. These were deliberate acts of sealing, and across cultures, sealing always has meaning. Something was either protected or imprisoned. In Maya belief, the underworld was not just a place of spirits but of challenges. Lords of Xibalba ruled with cruelty, testing humans with trials of fire, of water, of fear. Perhaps the sealing of caves was more than symbolic. Perhaps it was meant to contain something they believed was dangerous, a presence that should not walk among the living. And yet, in their most sacred moments, the Maya returned underground. Bloodletting rituals were performed to open portals between worlds. Rulers descended into chambers to speak with ancestors. Sacrifices offered deep in the veins of the earth, as if only there could the gods truly hear. Imagine the flicker of torches against crystal stalactites, jade ornaments glinting in the shadows, drums and flutes echoing against stone. The participants would not have felt they were in a cave. They would have felt they were standing at the threshold of another realm. Modern discoveries have only deepened the mystery. In 2018, researchers using LiDAR uncovered what may be the largest underground cave system in the world beneath the Yucatán Peninsula. Sac Actun, stretching over 300 kilometers. Along its submerged passages, divers found not only Maya artifacts, but also remains of extinct animals. Giant sloths, saber-toothed cats, preserved for thousands of years. This was not just a cave, it was a vault of history, a place where timelines collided, where the human and the prehistoric mingled in the same watery corridors. To the Maya, who believed in cycles of creation and destruction, This must have been proof that worlds had ended before and would end again. And perhaps this is the heart of the mystery. The Maya were not building randomly, they were preparing. Their tunnels, their sealed chambers, their underground networks may have been their response to knowledge we have forgotten. That civilizations rise and fall in cycles, that catastrophe is inevitable, that survival depends not on building higher, but on digging deeper. Could it be that what they left behind underground was meant not for their gods, but for us? A warning across time, sealed in stone, waiting for the day when we too would face our own collapse. Legends among Maya descendants speak of forbidden tunnels leading to the heart of the earth, of chambers where the old kings still sleep, of treasures and knowledge guarded by spirits. Some claim that deep beneath Chichén Itzá lies a hidden vault containing relics of unimaginable power. Others whisper of a white road underground, a sacred passage connecting great cities in ways we cannot yet trace. To archaeology, these are myths. But time and again, myths have pointed us to discoveries thought impossible. Consider the alignment of pyramids above with caves below. Consider the precision of tunnels cut in stone. Consider the sealing of chambers no eye has seen in 1,000 years. Too much of this points to intention, and intention means purpose. The Maya did not carve blindly into the earth. They knew where they were going, they knew what they were doing, and they knew why they were doing it. But here lies the haunting thought. If the Maya built both for the sky and for the underworld, if they sought both the stars above and the waters below, then their vision of the world was complete in a way ours is not. They understood the earth not as a surface, but as a sphere of layers, each alive with meaning. We walk above, they believed, only because we are balanced between heavens and underworld. To forget what lies below is to forget half of existence. And now, as we probe deeper with our machines, our drones, our sonar and LiDAR, we rediscover what they already knew, that the earth is hollow with hidden rivers, chambers, and paths. That history is written not just on the surface but in the caverns below. That beneath the jungles, the temples, the plazas, there lies another Maya world, untouched, waiting. So what did the Maya leave us? Perhaps not answers, but questions. Questions etched into tunnels, whispered in caves, sealed in stone. Questions we are only beginning to ask. Why did they build downward? What did they encounter in the darkness? What knowledge did they lock away beneath their cities? And what did they fear might one day emerge from the depths? The jungle conceals, but it does not erase. The earth buries, but it does not forget. The tunnels remain, silent corridors of time, waiting for the brave to step into their shadows. And when they do, they will not simply find artifacts, bones, or offerings. They will find echoes, echoes of chants, of footsteps, of voices that spoke to gods in the darkness. Echoes that remind us that the Maya were not only builders of pyramids, but keepers of hidden worlds. In the end, the greatest secret may not be what the tunnels hold, but what they mean. That humanity has always sought not only to touch the sky, but to understand the depths. That in reaching upward, we must also look downward. That beneath our feet lies a history we have barely begun to uncover. The Maya knew this. They built for it. They lived for it. And in their tunnels, their caves, their hidden chambers, they left behind a message carved not in words, but in silence, a message waiting in the dark. The secrets beneath the Maya are not gone. They are simply waiting. And when we are ready, the earth itself will reveal what it has guarded for 1,000 years. Until then, the tunnels sleep. But they are not empty. They are watching. They are remembering. And one day, they will speak.